Hi everybody, this is Black Sheep Girl, and today's date is Thursday, October 26th, 2017, and the current time is probably about 8:20 or so a.m. Anyway, I just wanted to have a little conversation with you because I watched this video about a man who's talking about taking his own life because there's a law in a state in the USA apparently that I never knew about, where people can get a prescription and they'll take it and it'll, I guess it's a lethal dose, so they'll die. And I heard them talking about it at the table, and at one point they said that's what pro-choice is like. And I'm thinking to myself, what, getting something, you think it's being merciful to kill an innocent baby who's never even had the chance to breathe her own breath out of the womb? You think it's compassionate, you think it's kind, you think it's merciful to I mean, think about it. I mean, a baby's lying in his or her little sanctuary in the womb peacefully, and then the doctor, let's say they're going to do some kind of suction abortion, or they're going to cut them apart with something. They're breaking that little baby's sanctuary. You know, they break the water, and then they get the baby. They go for the baby. And there is more than one reason for that. You know, they want to kill the babies, and they want to use them in food. People make it seem like when you try to talk to them about it, that you're judging them. You're judging them. I'm not judging you. But a baby is a gift. If you were irresponsible and something happened, you know, you went with your boyfriend or something and you got pregnant, well, let me just say, you know, that is a gift, a baby. I'm not saying that it's right outside of marriage, because it's not. But what I am saying is that that little baby is a gift. Even if you're married and you say, well, my husband and I, we want to wait a few years. That gift is, that's a little bundle of joy for you. Does anybody say after abortion, do most people say, I walked out of there feeling great. I did something, made me feel good. I felt wonderful. No. Not at all, because I mean, it's just, I just don't think people really understand. You know, this baby is an actual living human being, just in the womb. Does it make a person not a person if they're in a taxi, if they're in a different state than you are, if they're in a different part of the world than you are, if they're in a cold climate and you're in a warm climate? Does it make it different if they're a female and you're a male? No, of course not. So what's the difference between a baby being in the womb? That is no different. Yes, they go through development, but they are still a human being. I just think, like, when you try to talk to somebody, or you go to hold up a sign to try to help, to save somebody's, to try to help somebody and tell them the truth, and then they get so angry. They can't even look at you. They can't even look at the sign. It's like they really know, and deep down, they know, but they don't want to admit. You know, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I should think about this. Is this just some like casual thing we can talk about over tea? Well, I was thinking about aborting my baby. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, this is a life or death situation that's been happening for years in this country and other places in the world for years there in other parts of the world too. This whole world is like basically saying, oh, you know, say whatever you can to make you feel good about it. People will say, oh, you're so brave for doing this or that or whatever. Oh, you're so brave and inspiring. Is that what bravery is? I thought bravery was doing some great feat or doing something that makes you feel afraid, but you do it anyway. And that's being brave. But it's being brave to confuse people and tell them that their baby is really just some kind of mass inside their body, like a growth, like a tumor. Oh, we have a little tumor in there. Let's take it out. I mean, really? I just don't think people realize the heaviness of the situation. But I heard something. Anyway, I'd advise you to really think about this. If you're expecting a baby, boy or girl, of course, what else? But if you're expecting, please, I urge you to think about it. You know? Sometimes when women have abortions, and probably more than sometimes, probably lots of times, and I took a course on this so that I could work on a line to help women with alternatives to abortion. For example, adoption, keeping a baby and helping them with finances, you know, giving them clothes for the baby, formula, diapers, etc., helping them. Wouldn't it be a blessing to have that beautiful little one and get help? You know, you say, I don't have money, I have health problems. Look, the people that say that there's health problems, and the people that say they were raped and that's why they want to have an abortion, those are so very few. There's so very few. It's like 1% or 4%. People can say, oh, which I don't think there's any reason why anybody should have an abortion. If you don't want the baby, then give the baby up for adoption. Somebody who can't have children, or who maybe did have 1 or 2 kids and can't have any more and they want more. Or maybe people that have 4, 5, 6 kids more, but they still want more anyway. Think about it. It's so important. That little one deserves a chance to live. It's not just some, like, oh, let's pick the topic for today in the bag. It's very important. This is life or death. This is murdering little people. I mean, this lady I tried to talk to help her, and I think she got angry because she felt like I was judging her. I wrote her a note to tell her about, you know, think about it, because you got the chance to have a little one. They told her that she didn't have enough amniotic fluid. They'll tell you anything to get you to have an abortion. That's all they want for their satanic rituals and stuff. They'll tell you whatever they want. So you'll say, maybe they're right. Maybe I am too young, too old, not healthy enough. Maybe I don't have enough money, too much money. Maybe this is too much of an inconvenience. A person, a human being too much of an inconvenience We're talking about people, not, you know, not bugs or something. You know, you go and swat a bug. Well, you don't do that with people. You know, you call in an exterminator to exterminate pests. You don't do that with children. You don't say, hello, hello, I'd like to call an exterminator. I'd like to make an appointment tomorrow at 1 o'clock to have my child exterminated. Oh, I mean that clump of whatever. I mean, maybe you think I'm being rash and rude right now, like brash, and I don't know, but I'm just trying to get this message across to you that it's really important. You know, okay, like I made a video, right, and I put it up yesterday, but there's things I could have put in there, like number one, I'm a handicapped person, not by a long shot. Like some people are way more handicapped than I am. But one eye is blind and the other eye is high partial, and I have some other problems, like with my health and stuff, and hormones and all that. Like my pituitary, for example, my pituitary doesn't function the way most people's would normally. And I don't produce cortisol, for example. And, you know, that can, a lot of things. And if this was, let's say, you know, maybe like, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, if in the right circumstances, somebody could have said, oh, this is going to be too much trouble. Or I heard about mom and dad, they were going to have their little girl, and then they found out that she was going to have septal-optic dysplasia. I have septal-optic dysplasia. Do you know they aborted her because she had septal-optic dysplasia? I'm 44 years old, and I still have septal-optic dysplasia, but I'm alive. I take care of myself. I pay my bills. I don't, you know, I don't depend on people for every little thing. But you know what? Even if somebody did, they are a human being. They're worth living. Even if somebody depends on people 24/7, they're still a human being. You can't just say, well, let me call the exterminator. Honey, what's that number? Oh, I found it in the phone book. Never mind. Oh, hello, exterminator. You want to come over here and deal with this thing that's in my wife? I mean, this is something that's serious. So, oh, if it's a boy and you want a girl, if it's black and you wanted white, if it's too little and you wanted a bigger one, if it's too big and you wanted a smaller one, if it's handicapped and you wanted a, quote, normal baby, then we'll just get rid of it. I mean, I know it would be hard to have the baby and then have it for adoption, but at least the baby would get to live. And then maybe you might change your mind. You know, you don't have to say anything or do anything until you have the baby. And then you could say, you know what? I've decided that I want to put my baby up for adoption. That's the best thing for my baby. I did something that I was irresponsible, or whatever you want to say. You know, or you know, something happened to me or whatever, you know, I mean, please, I'm begging you. It's so important. It doesn't matter if your baby's born with something, what joy they'll bring you. What joy that little one will bring you. And these people are satanic. They're robbing. They're telling people lies. They're telling some women that they have a baby in there, and they don't even have a baby. It's just like a clump of, like, a tumor or something in their belly, and they're saying, oh, you have a baby in there. And then they go home thinking, oh, God, what did I do? And there was nothing anyway. And I'm never saying that a baby is ever a clump of anything. A baby is a baby. Baby goes through different stages of development. Well, we start out as a baby, and then we grow to a toddler, and then we grow to a little child, like 4 years old, and then we go to kindergarten and start to learn about reading. Of course, kids are learning much earlier than they were, let's say, 40 years ago or something. But you know, then you go through elementary school, then you go through junior high, and you start to go through puberty, and you're a teenager, and you go through those teenage years, and hormones are going crazy, and you know, and then you finally get to the end of your schooling, and you're, you know, for the actual, you know, the actual schooling, like